is still no cure for COVID-19. Scientists have not found the answer. However, we, the people of this territory, must be the answer to stopping violence. Every young man in this territory looks up to someone and trusts in someone, whether it's a grandfather, a brother, an uncle, a father, a grandmother, an aunt, a sister, someone that they can trust in. And these individuals, St. Claire, can see the signs when these young men are straying away from going on the right path. I would like to start out by sending out condolences to all who have lost loved ones in the territory to gun violence and in any other fashion. In the United States and around the world, everyone is talking about George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and Black Lives Matter. In the territory, I'm going to name two names, but there's many more. I'm going to name Aaron Nicholas Hamilton Ashby and Taintaway Christian. These are two young men, 16, just starting to live their life. And there's another 33 young men that have lost their life to gun violence. This cannot continue. We cannot continue on this trend without finding answers, without reaching out to our young men and trying to assist them. I know Taintaway personally because I've said on my ad, and many times I've made it known that I am an umpire that volunteer my time for the young kids, volunteer my time in donating towards the different sports and activity. We're in some uncharted waters right now. So there's a lot of activities and things that might have been going on in the past that is not going on today because of COVID-19. But we still and we must reach out to our young men and find ways to assist them. I say this without any fear. Williams Elite Down, some people say it was illegal, some people say it was wrong, some people say it should have never happened. And I tip my hat off to the young men them who ran that racetrack for 2 years without any kind of violence. I tip my hat off to them. And I have some other folks and friends that don't appreciate that or fear to say that. I don't have fear to say that. But I can tell you this much. Since that track has been closed, we have really skyrocketed into violence. And I say all of this to say that when you take something from someone, you need to make sure you have something to offer to them. Because in the Bureau of Correction where I worked for 20 years, we knew that when we tighten up the grips on certain area, if it is that we did a raid in the prison, we took away the contrabands, different thing, we knew that we needed to open another door. We knew that we needed to open up the commissary. We knew that we needed to provide something to avoid them from being idle with nothing to do. I could go on here and talk for the entire time of this show, Brother St.Claire, but what I really want to do is open up the phone line real early so that people could call in. Let's talk about the crime. Let's talk about the violence in our community. Let's find solution together, because I'm asking the people to be their voice. And in order for me to be the people's voice, I really need to hear from the people. We cannot just sit by idly. It's going to take this community coming together to solve these crimes and assist these young men. We sit back and we wait for law enforcement when the homicide or the violent crime take activity to find the solution. It's going to take all of us to assist them. And if this government do need help, I would hope that they reach out and ask for help. Some 5, probably 6 years ago, legislature passed some bills giving the federal government peace officer status. And I say to you and to the general public, what have they done for us thus far? They received something that they wanted. No, we're asking them to assist us in whichever means and ways. Some people might say, no, don't let them come in. Don't let it. They are here. So it's not about calling them. It's about getting them to assist our law enforcement with whatever aid and financial help they can provide to make things better and easier. We have to start from the small little things. I look on the road and I see a lot of vehicles without license plate. I see motorcycles on the road without license plate. I see four-wheelers without license plate. When I grew up, I knew we had to license our bicycles, St.Claire. Our bicycle, if we're going to ride it on the road, it had to get a license. And we're talking about the government and revenues. We're losing a lot of revenues when all of these vehicles are out there not registered. We're losing a lot of vehicles when all of these cars are on our roads illegally. Because if they don't have a registration and it's not registered, when they hit me on your car, who fixed your car? Especially if you have a little older model vehicle and you decide, you know what, I gonna only put liability on my car because I gonna be careful, I gonna be diligent, I gonna make sure I stay on my side. But here comes you minding your business, going up the road, doing what you're supposed to do and paying attention, driving for you and everyone else. Here comes a motorcycle or an unregistered vehicle and they crash into your vehicle. Who compensates you at that time? That's the answer there. But what we really want to talk about is crime today. We want to find solution. We want to hear from the audience. We want to hear what they have to say because we cannot continue going down these roads, losing our young men one after the other. As I was speaking earlier and I said that I knew Tintaway personally, I never knew him to be a disrespectful young man, rude young man or anything like that. This young man on the ballpark was very well talented and he performed very well. I think I had about 2 trips to a different tournament with Tintaway. Brother St.Claire, if the cards are coming in, let's go straight to the phone line and let's hear from the folks if they're calling in.
Okay, you could call us at 719-743-5007. Okay, caller, go ahead.
Good morning.
Blessed morning, Senator Williams.
Good morning.
And to the aspirant, Mr. E. Johnson.
Good morning. How you doing, my brother?
I am good, thank God. You challenged me a lot and tell me that you think they had my mouth muzzled, but they didn't. I tried. You know how it goes when you work
it's a pleasure
within a government structure.
It's a pleasure to hear you this morning.
Oh, definitely. I'm so glad that you throw your hat in the ring because I do believe in you.
Thank you.
I wish the former governor had listened to you, but also there were several people around you that told me if the governor had won re-election, I would not have a job. So that was very disheartening. But Senator Williams, when you give out the number, please remember give out 340 because we got people international listening to you.
Okay.
Mr. Johnson.
Yes, sir.
Listen, you've been involved, man. I've been there, I've seen you participate, give a lot of your time.
Thank you.
So I'm calling you to ask you, as a senator, what kind of programs and plans do you have for the youth? And from your office too, what do you propose to put in place to try and keep them engaged? Because are you a senator already? Well, Mr. Johnson,
yeah,
it really behooves me that a lot of people want to continue this. And you talk about you just mentioned to Mr. St.Claire Williams about the bike that we had to license.
Yeah.
There are many things that we did that have just fallen by the wayside, and CETA was a program that was there for me for years, for summer programs.
Yes.
I don't send it already. So, so no, they never muzzled my mouth. I kept working from within the structure, and I'm here now decided, you know what? No, I can't take this nonsense no more. So I will speak publicly, and that's why I'm coming to you and asking you, what plans and proposals do you have or you going to bring for the youth? And we're going to talk some more. God bless you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much. That's my good friend, Mr. Dongtito, that Frederick said. And in my past time on the radio, I've always mentioned about vocational. I'm a tickler for vocational. Everyone keeps saying that we need to build a vocational school, and I say we don't. We have a prime vocational school where we need to invest. One of the problems that we have had in the past is unionized employee makes a certain salary. And if you take a skilled electrician, and I'll draw the line with electrician because of my uncle. By the way, happy belated birthday to Uncle Al Charles. He made 90 Saturday gone. So I'm glad you asked that question. It make me remember to give my uncle his kudos. If you take an electrician today and you ask him to come in the classroom to teach the trade of electrician, the average electrician can make any place from $150 just to install a fan. That could run him maybe half an hour, 40 minutes. So now how do you compensate this teacher in the classroom? How you do it is you allow the students to go out in the field to work alongside with this electrician whilst he's doing hands-on job. We must find that mentoring program that will allow the electrician to not lose, but at the same time have the students to learn. We must find a way to bridge that gap. And once we could start doing that, and in all the trades, and not just electrical, we talk about plumbing, we talk about carpentry, we talk about masonry. The average contractor is not going to give up his job coming to the school to work for $30 and $40. So we have to find avenues and ways to do it. Yes, you can do the classrooms, but they must get out there and get hands-on, because that's basically what trade work is all about. Go ahead to the next caller, Mrs.
Okay, and I did have a caller who wanted your telephone number.
Sure.
Because I know you do give out your telephone number.
Sorry for starting out without doing that. My number is 340-474-4131. And you can also like us on Facebook or on my website, franklinjohnson.vi.
Repeat that number again.
Area code 340-474-4131. Please feel free to call me at any time. Not late hours though.
Okay, we do have another caller. Caller, go ahead with your question.
Good morning, Frankie.
Good morning, how you doing?
I'm blessed, thank you. And let me join you in wishing Mr. Charles a very happy birthday, belated birthday, and many more years to come.
Yes, yes.
I agree with your position concerning the vocational program and the school.
Thank you.
I would like for you to look into the possibility of the licensed person being able to get some kind of tax credit for going into the vocational school and doing some training, some teaching.
Thank you very much.
I have
advice.
two requests,
you,
and that is one, that you would look into when you're successful, repealing the act that puts the only one way in a one block section in Frederickstead. That is the most ridiculous thing, and Mr. Johnson, it is causing this problems down there, because sometimes when someone is going the wrong way, they want to be cursing you out and carrying on because you're telling them they're in the wrong direction. So it's because all the signs have gone since the hurricane.
Yeah, definitely I saw that. I have seen experience.
But coming to the crime, I would like to ask if you could possibly look into, I think a lot of listeners will agree that the one person in the police force who proved themselves to be have the courage, the cojones, and the ability to deal with these violent offenders or whoever was Mr. Winsbert, Officer Winsbert McFarlane. And I don't understand why the administration, he's a locally trained, came through the ranks and everything, why we don't go to Mr. McFarlane and ask him to whatever position, but give him the freedom, because he was there before. But it is my understanding that his hands was tied with the supervisors insofar as to how he could operate, and that is not that shouldn't happen, because if someone knows what they're doing, I mean, I understand he even goes all over the Caribbean training officers, and we have him right here, but not taking advantage of his ability, skills, and we all know Winsbert used to go in when we had the problem with Williams. The life wasn't it Winsbert who dealt with it?
Yes, sure did. He's an officer that goes out to meet them, not wait for them to come meet him. And
that is what we need. So I would ask if you could get maybe with all those former officers who are down there in the legislature to join and make a committee to go to the governor and plead a case because, like you said, the feds are there. The person who leads the department is on loan from the feds. So if he can't get the feds to do whatever is needed, then what difference is they going to make? It's clear that the leadership is the problem.
Yeah. We cannot continue living like this. If we have...
So I am advocating for please deal with Mr. Winthrop McFarlane, who has said proved himself in his performance in being able to deal with that violent sector.
I agree with you 100%.
Thank you much and good luck in your adventure. You have my support, by the way.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that.
Okay, caller, go ahead.
Good morning. Hello. Good morning.
Yes, you're on.
Yes, good morning.
Yeah.
Good morning. How are you doing this morning?
I'm good.
Okay.
Mr. Williams?
Yes. You got a question for the Senate, for the candidate?
Yes,
okay.
yes. I hear somebody call and talk about the youth, right? But my thing is, sometimes listening to the news, you hear these young men going to prison for marijuana.
Yeah.
21 years, 19 years, 20 years, moving forward. If you have to bail it, what you going to do to help these youth? Because when they go to jail for marijuana, have to come back out in society. They got to live with the bad police record for maybe the next 20, 30 years. Maybe go back on the corner again to hustle again to come back there. So moving forward, if you have to get what you have to do to help you, because it's very annoying sometimes when a young boy have to go to jail for marijuana. I think they say illegal, I don't know. Have to come back out here and find a job. I mean, he just here for himself sometimes. And with the crime, I think that the police, they need a very, very strong backup, because some of people get so accustomed to the police, then either they some kind of military or something, because I mean they need help. They doing the work, they need help. And the governor, senator, everybody, they need to go around and meet these young men and meeting with them and see if they can bring them together. Ask them what's the problem. I think that is very important, because some of them they're just looking for resources. Some of them just fighting to survive
they're reaching out. They want somebody to talk to, and that's not happening.
Yes, and this is what they're gonna have to do. You just can't give up on them like that.
We cannot.
You know, some of them just looking for help. They just need, some of them, they may be the fatherless, motherless, and they just fighting for their life right now. So if they see me first, they're gonna attack me. They need help. Reach out to the youth them. And I don't like this thing that's sending these young men to jail for marijuana at all. Some of them is too young. When they go to jail, they last year upon themselves and start to just to sickness. And that is my 2 cents for today.
Thank you very much.
And I wish you all the luck moving forward.
Thank you very much. And the question that you pose is about marijuana. And with the laws that are in place right now, I don't think we'll find more young men going to prison. But what we need to do now is start expunging those who've already served time for cases of marijuana, so that they can have a clean slate and have a fair chance. I believe in that very much. In my time working to the prison, I know many young men that came out, and I could go down a list and will never stop to here today, that came out, went into prison without a skill, without a trade. At that time, we had programs that was teaching them, training them. And I can remember this one young man, he went into the upholstery shop, and the guy who was in there hide everything from him. Didn't want him to learn. But he was determined. He bought the books, he learned upholstery, he came out, he opened his own upholstery business. He's very successful out there right now. He works in a refinery and he's building his upholstery business. And I must say, these things do work. We talk about the 4-H program, we talk about PAL. And I remember when we were in office, there was the individual in St. Thomas who was doing everything to just cut PAL out. When we came out of office, they were successful in doing it. And the governor and me we communicate well. When we meet each other, we greet each other with respect. He is the governor. I respect him for his position. I sent a text to him and asked him to reach out to Mr. Rookie Jackson, because I felt it was very important that we don't lose PAL and have all of these children on the street. And the governor and Mr. Jackson had their discussion. They found someone to assist Mr. Jackson, and the PAL program is back up again. But 4-H program is a program that we have to get from the young age. It teaches them about life. Either you're going to raise a rabbit, you're going to raise a dog, a goat, or a plant. And you learn about life from a young age, that if you don't take care of this plant or animal, it will die. And they teach them, that's their learning lesson from a very early age. Right now, life has no value to our young men, and we have to bring that back to them. Let's go to the next call, please. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, how are you doing?
Yes, you're on.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Williams, and good morning to your guest, Frank, Senator. I didn't get their last name.
I'm an aspirant. I'm running for the Senate. This is Franklin Johnson, better known as Frankie.
Johnson.
Yes.
Yes. Anyway, I'm calling as one who is very concerned about the violence and the killing of a lot of our youth. I'm just really disheartened because when I hear us talk about community and think about the word itself, common unity, I think we're using that word very loosely, and it doesn't really, it puts us in a delusion as to like we are functioning as a community, but I don't really see that that's the case.
Yeah.
And we've lost that sense a long time ago when we were living in a community when it took a village to raise a child. When
definitely
you send your child out, you send your child out, and they did something down the road that was not becoming of any youngster, and an adult or someone would see that and scold that child and bring them home and get another scolding. We've lost that once parents don't see that as something that is becoming of someone who is not a part of their family or themselves to do that to their child. In fact, there would be some major repercussions if someone was to do that to anyone's child today. So right there, we've been lost that sense of community, and there's no apathy when it comes to another youth, just losing their life senselessly, simply because it's like another one bite the dust. That's the until it hits home, until it's one of your child, and then you really feel it. But I'm just saying that to say that we are like sort of disillusioned into thinking that things are going to get better with the present atmosphere or climate. I feel the only way to deal with this as a solution is to do something different. I mean, I remember living in England, and they had surveillance cameras, CCTV all over the place. Yeah. In fact, they're so confident that the police don't even walk around with guns. They have batons. They got it to the point where the criminal element, either they have to do whatever criminal activity outside of reach of those cameras, or not at all. And I'm just saying, why is it like the incident that happened at H&H? Yeah, it was picked up by the camera. I suppose that was the camera that H&H had. Well, that vehicle had to drive out of that parking lot and go somewhere.
It was a stolen vehicle. It was a vehicle that was stolen.
But what I'm saying is, if we had a system set up throughout this, a key strategic point of this island, where cameras are constantly doing surveillance. Yeah. So when that vehicle leaves that area at an intersection, you could at least see where it's going. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and people monitoring.
100%. All across the nation, rather it's England, United States, New York, you name it. We're going to have to rely a lot on these cameras because people are not coming forward. And until people start coming forward, we need to find ways to invest into these cameras to the traffic light, major intersection, major neighborhoods of high violence. I in total agreement with you on that, sir. One of the things I would like to say to you,
go on.
You spoke about a village raising a child, but it's not so much that the parent won't allow you to school the child, at least some parents, but the laws that have came into play. Long ago, you go to school, the teacher could have beat you, today a teacher can't put his hand on you. So it's not so much, and the children them know that. Even if you scold your child and you leave a mark on your child could call the cops for you. And I've always said, well, call them for me. That's the stand that I took. Not everyone took that
scolding in my definition doesn't necessarily mean physical scolding. I mean letting that child know that kind of behavior is not going to be accepted. And then they're going to make sure that the parents knows about it. I'm just saying we've lost that sense
definitely lost it.
that common unity. All of us are in this together. So that's what I'm saying. Unless it's something that hits close to home, you hear another one and we become numb, and it's like another one bites the dust.
That's the saddest part of it.
And that's the mentality, that the lack of apathy that is allowing this to persist. And I'm saying we all have maybe not myself, but we all have maybe cousins or brothers or relatives that might be somewhat dabble in some kind of criminal element and have. But we're not going to put those names in. We're simply not going to do that. But if the feds come in now, if this continue, and people who are not so close to the problem, and don't know you from Jack, and feds come in and start to really clean house, then that's going to be a whole nother situation. So I'm saying maybe before that it gets to that point, maybe we need to really consider all this money, via and all these telecommunication systems, and they're running fiber optics under the ground and all, and we don't have nothing that can be deterred towards setting up a island-wide CCTV or some kind of surveillance. So at least these people who have these criminal intentions, at least they'll reduce or back them up towards doing it in some kind of bush or somewhere, secluded where there's no camera. There's no way that someone should be in broad daylight to do at this time of that we're living in with all this advanced technology, do something, and then and you don't see where they're going, a small island like this, and you don't see which direction. So at least you could pinpoint where they went to, what home,
that's what the camera will do for us, for sure.
That's what I'm saying, and we don't have the manpower on the police force to have police everywhere. They can't be everywhere. I can't fault the police for not being at certain places. They can't. We just don't have that.
And that's
I think the resources would be better off be put towards some, those cameras and have people monitoring those monitors.
Besides those cameras, we, the people in this community, has to come together and act and want a different. And when you say that, each of those young men, I started off saying, each of these young men have a brother, a father, uncle, a cousin, a friend, someone that can go and talk to them. And it's going to take all of us working together, talking to these young men, reaching out to them and finding ways to change them in a direction. But I'll go to some other calls.
I'm not discouraging. Right. I'm not discouraging that as being an option, but since we've been saying that for the longest while and it hasn't happened.
We haven't been doing it.
We gotta be forced. They say press the bus pipe and force make water go uphill. So I'm thinking maybe at this point we gotta really try. If you keep putting in the wrong ingredients to make a cake and it comes out a pie or something else, then you have to change the ingredients.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much. I would like to take on some more calls. Okay?
Caller, go ahead.
Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Seems like that call is no longer there. We go to the next one. Caller, you're on the air. Go right ahead.
Hello, good morning. Yeah. What I would like for the callers to do is give us the question and then move on, because we really want to hear from this entire community. We want to hear everybody today. Hello, good morning. Yeah, hello, good morning.
Good morning, Frankie.
Good morning. How are you doing this morning?
Yeah, this is Don Felipe calling you long distance. How are you?
Hey, how are you doing, Don Felipe? It's good to hear your voice.
Well, when I got up this man, I checked my phone. They said, Frankie coming on at 9:30. I said, Well, Frankie and I call you. I ain't got much to say. Well, I already said it.
Yeah.
But you definitely got my support.
Thank you very much, Don Felipe.
I will be up there for election day.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that.
Okay, so me and my partner down here in Santiago,
I hear you.
Talk to each other on a daily basis. And your name is always there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
I can't get much to say. Let somebody else get it. But
I appreciate hearing your voice, though. Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you very much, my brother. All right. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Frankie.
Good morning. How are you doing this morning?
I'm good. This is Officer John's wife.
I know your
Frankie,
voice very well.
As I sat here and I listen, my heart is broken because Tintaway. My God, Frankie. We have to do something on this crime.
And that's why I did it my best to get here and all as I can, because I couldn't take it anymore. I'm
terrified. I even let in my son, Kian, out of the home. I'm terrified. And as I sit here and I listen to all the solutions, one thing I can agree on is that man that just talk about CCTV. I watch a lot of investigative ID and thing. In the States, it's the same way. The black communities are reluctant to talk to police. But you know what has helped them? Those CCTV. And every corner they have CCTV, and that's what's helping them. And then I listen to all the who they could bring back and who they can't bring back. And I must say, okay, William Bill Harvey been a police forever. I served with him, and he's a man of his word.
Yeah.
And they got rid of him in a heartbeat because he was doing his job. We don't like how he speaks to us. We don't like how you know what? Because he was making them do their work. You understand?
Everybody wants a job. Everybody don't want to work. It's a total different thing.
Thank you. And that's the problem we have here. If we want to solve crime, we want to do things better. We have to do things better for ourselves. We can't come to work when we want to do what we want to. We have to be serious about crime, Frankie, and we're not serious about this crime. When the governor ran, his ticket was, he gonna bring in the feds. You see any feds coming in here? Frankie, I retire from Department of Homeland Security as a supervisor. I deal with FBI agents every day. I asked one of them one day, so why don't you give us some help with this crime? The man watched me and he laughed. It was a Caucasian man. I'll never forget. He laughed. And when he see my face, he said, I'm sorry, it wasn't funny. But he said, do you really think y'all need help? Do you really think y'all want us to help y'all? And he said, look at it this way. He said the same thing with Puerto Rico. He said, have so much corruption in government that its politics is what's keeping back the police department from solving crime. And for years I pondered that in my mind. And today I can say I believe him. I believe him. We don't want to solve this crime because guess what? There's a bunch of poor black people killing themselves. Until it hits home in their house, that's when they're going to see the reality of things here. Funky, that's a 16-year-old child. That child was doing everything right. How do we protect our children? How do we, you know that? How do we protect our children? And I attest to you. You got my vote. And you got my family vote. Because I already tell my family, we giving you our vote. Because I see you with these children. I see you.
Yes, and I cannot stop now, regardless of the election. I won't stop being there.
And I know you won't stop because you've been doing it way before you even decide to run for any office. It's not like some of these people that they decide to.
When I worked for Governor Map, I still was on the field. So this ain't stopping me now either.
You were on the field. In your fancy uniform. And let them know you have a fancy uniform. You understand? Them children travel, you travel with them.
I travel with them and I take care of them as my own.
Just yesterday, my son talking about how you travel with them and they harassing you or whatever. So it's not like you're not Johnny come lately.
No,
you're not a Johnny come lately like some of these people that because they want to run all of a sudden down the ball field. I've never seen the governor on a ball field, but yet we still don't have our say something. He's the one that said that baseball is not economically sound for the Virgin Islands, but yet he's the governor.
Yes.
He's the governor. He's the one that said agriculture was economically sound when he went to Sage Farm, and he's still the governor. So people, we have to vote for people who are going to help us in this place. We're our own place. We keep putting in these people with the fancy talk and the fancy and I do agree with you on the where you talk about at the school. Okay, for on-the-job training. We don't need to invent the wheel. You have a vocational place right there.
Definitely.
All you have to do is hire qualified instructors.
Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you very much.
And with that said, I hope you get in.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Yes, hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Yes, hi, good morning.
Good morning.
This is Debbie calling from Atlanta.
How are you doing, Debbie?
And I am hi, how are you? I hear a lot. And my parents and my nephews down there, and I'm seeing a lot, and I've been, dabbling in the government now, and it's just tiring. It's tiring about what I'm seeing, the corruption and stuff like that. But when you came on the radio, I remember you. I remember your name, and I think I'm befriending you on Facebook and everything, and you have my support.
Thank you very much.
I agree with vocations, schools, it works. Let's find something for these kids to do.
And the thing about that, right?
My thing is, I can't agree with this. This neighbor, he's my family, and I work in the police force, and he called his brother and this person and get these people, these children off who's with guns and stuff. They need some form of outlet. They need vocational school. They need to be the police officers need to come into school, the commissioner, and talk to them from middle school and up, saying what's going to happen if you do these crimes.
I ran a program.
Some of these
I ran a program like that when I worked at the Bureau of Correction.
They're listening to gangs and stuff. That's what they're doing.
What I did with that program, I mimicked the program out of Rahway. Rahway have a program called Skate Street. So when I came back home and I got the job to the Bureau of Correction, I did everything possible to mimic that program where the prisoners used to go to the school, talk to the young men them, and we would pick out the ones that we could see trending in the wrong direction, bring them down to the prison and did a little more intense discussion with them. And it's a program that's in Rahway, and 9 out of 10 young men that attend that program never get in problem with the law. 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
That's something. I'll reach out to the administration if they need me to help them with that. Whatever needs to be done to help our young men and save our children in this community, that's what I'm willing to do.
Yeah, and my thing is our community is small compared to the state.
Yeah.
So you got the cameras, you got the shot fires, you're going into the school, you're putting the vocational programs. Now the churches get involved. Okay, they're sending single parents to handle the children going crazy. So this is a small enough knit community that we all come together. It ain't about, you say Michelle and I don't care. It's a lot about let's keep this community, let's save the kids them.
Because
and let's stop these people who are all the true criminals. Make sure we prosecute them, but let them don't be out there killing innocent children like that.
Today it's my child, tomorrow it's yours. So let's solve this before we become yours.
Right. And I think they have so much senators who've been in the police department. Get a task force. Look, if they need help, ask for help. There's so much help.
Definitely.
There's so much people willing to help. But ask for help, but don't say, oh, well, we need the community help. Well, you need to put stuff and action in place. You have to show that the people in the community that you're not cooking. And I'm up in the States and I'm hearing about cooking. I'm seeing videos. I'm hearing stuff.
Thank you very much, Debbie. I really appreciate your call.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
We got our vote, okay?
Thank you very much, Debbie. Thank you. Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning, listening audience. St.Claire Williams and Frankie J.
Hey, good morning. How you doing?
Good morning. The first time I met you, you were in the graveyard digging a grave with the crew. And ever since then, I've just been, so impressed with your work ethic and
Thank you very much.
And seeing you on the street all the time. I run into you all the time on the street working with Piety.
Yeah, definitely.
So we appreciate you, and we're glad that you're running, and we know that you're there for us whether you get in or not, but I'm pretty sure that you got a good chance.
Thank you very much.
The House of Foxes Track Club, a youth organization, we definitely support you because you definitely support the youth and the community. And
thank you very much
for your service.
Appreciate that.
Have a blessed day.
Thank you very much. Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning, Frankie.
Good morning. How you doing?
Are you okay? Are you cool? Just listening to the program again. I have a question to ask you. I know we're friends coming up everything, but one thing about me, I straight to the point. Like I just said, you could be my brother, you could be my sister, you could be my friend. I don't vote on that kind of merit.
And
I vote on who I know and willing to do the job. Question to you. Number one, what make you think and want to enter this race?
Very
I know you were there before with Governor Map doing your thing. I know what you were capable of doing. But my question is, what make you want to run in this race? And
go ahead.
Are you willing to take up this challenge? Because it's not easy when you get in to deal with some of these senators that is in there. So I just want to open up that circle so you could see exactly where I'm coming from, because I know what you can do. But that's my question. And like I said, I know what you can do. And the young man you were talking about with the upholstery, I met him as yet, but I heard of him when you was on the show the other day, when you was talking about correction. I met Keith Francois and I spoke with him, and he talked about a same young man. I'm going to hang up and I'm going to
Franklin Campbell, very good man. And I'll answer your question straight and direct. And I'll start off by saying, I care.
Let me hang up, okay? Because somebody just want to call me. Don't hang up.
I care about my home. I care about the Virgin Islands, and I care about the children of these territory. I am tired of being on the sideline crying just like everybody else and not getting more involved and doing more. And I feel with this opportunity, with some of the ideas and some of the things that I vision that can happen, I will be able to help push this ball a little farther. One of the skills that I bring to the table is working with people. I remember when I was on the the administration of Governor Mapp, I went to St. Thomas and had a meeting with the festival committee, and they were adamant about Mr. Pemberton not coming to Carnival in St. Thomas. And I said, why not? And they gave me the reasons, and I didn't accept it. I said, I'll have Mr. Pemberton come to the meeting. They said, you don't come to no meeting. I said, well, I'll have Mr. Pemberton come to the meeting. And they look at me and they say, what do you think you could bring him? I said, I believe I could go to the devil and get him to come to church. I told him straight out like that. Well, we did have that meeting. It was successful, but he still went through some hardship when he reached over there. I pretty much had to assign a police to Mr. Pemberton in the parade ground to make sure they don't take the equipment out. I mean, I don't stop. I just don't stop. And I know this job is going to be a challenge, but it's a challenge that I really willing and want to take on to make a difference and to work with everybody, regardless of what side of this territory they come from. But I am a person that believes in working with people, sitting down, having dialogue, and I keep saying this to you. I listen, because when I do that, I can get a lot more solved by listening to the other person. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Frankie.
Good morning, how are you doing?
I'm good. I know you're done there already.
Lot of work.
Listen to me. I hear you speak about the tractor we had in Williamsville, right?
Yes, ma'am.
We know it was illegal.
Yeah.
But we had permission, right? Once nothing happening, fine. But Frankie, when that came out the morning and they called me and tell me, because I was one that went and asked permission to use it, right?
Yeah.
I went back to the guy, to the man for it, the Arab, and he said, man, I can't do my work in pieces. Every day police. What you are going to do, especially in Williamsville?
Yeah.
Get rid of this. Is it legal? Is it this? Is it that? So he just said, you have to set up and say, do what you all want to do. And they were glad to hear that. But Frankie, it really breaking me and breaking me down.
Yeah.
At this minute, because we've been in there over 2 years and we had no kind of crime going on in
and
here.
I can tell you to salute those men for that.
And then what really happened is all those guys that been gunned down lately, they used to be there.
I contest to that. I know a good bit of those young men. The last one that killed by Holger Dance.
Yes.
When he was 12, 13 years old, he sat right next to me up in the bleachers. He used to tell me, pick the house. He used to go with his father on the track.
Yes.
What you're saying,
I know them. And it hurted me when I hear all of that, because all these men used to be dopsing up each other.
Yes.
Behind here when they come to, when the racism and these little children and young and old, medium, everybody used to be behind there, and they used to look forward to this races and Sunday school. We had no other place to go, and it really hurting me up to this minute. It's hurting me.
I feel your pain.
And let me tell you this, but I don't understand. I know
just about all of them. And I knew who they are. I knew what they could be into. I knew what they wasn't into. I knew what they were doing that was keeping them busy. A lot of people don't know how much time it takes to deal with a horse. You go to that horse early in the morning. You go to that horse before you go to sleep. It's a lot of work involved.
It's a lot.
What we need to do by whichever means.
To build in the sea, they had to cut grass for them. They had to get hair and different things for them. And they've been there. They've been there.
Busy.
But God is good. And I just say my condolence goes out to the family of them.
Lose all of these children. Yes. Thank you very much, Ms.
And Frankie, you have my support.
Thank you.
And I hope it has. I hope it had the fifth. How much it is? 7, 8? How much senators? I don't know the card. But all of them, I hope they was like you. But some of them in there just for the pocket.
We're going to get them to come together. We have to do that.
Yes.
All right? Thank you very much, Ms. Blackman.
And work for the people of the Virgin Islands.
Thank you very much, Ms. Blackman. Thank you. Good morning. How are you doing? Hello. Good morning.
Seems like no one no longer there. We go to the next one.
Morning.
Yeah,
morning.
go ahead.
Hello, good morning.
Morning, you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Yeah, so you used to work at the BOC, you said?
Yes, I did 20 years there at the Bureau of Correction. Yeah.
What about YRC? What do you think about that area over there?
I work in all 3 areas. Most of my time was in Golden Grove, but I work on the Zope Detention Center and I worked at the juvenile.
Yeah, well, I feel that's right there is a big issue right there. BOC Bureau of Correction, this is my opinion about Bureau of Correction and YRC.
No.
Bureau of Correction is the Bureau of Correction. Yeah, you got to correct these. YRC is way more important to be dealing with. I mean, understandable these guys doing what they're doing in there, but these kids in there got to be focused on. Y'all need a boot camp. Y'all need more activities for these guys in there. Y'all got to get the fear, all right, of police officers. They don't have no fear, not even in there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? These police officers, what they do, they walk with these kids, close the door, and walk away. There's no counseling like that there. There's no guidance in there. There's no follow-ups in there.
Yeah.
When I mean follow-up, when they come out of there, what do they go? Back to the product of their environment.
They graduate.
And then what they don't do? Nothing. They don't do no follow. Ain't nobody coming behind these kids
Programs.
to see what they're dealing with.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? BOC is BOC. We're expunging these guys from our... Nah. We need to deal with these kids. These guys in there. You got guys in there, yeah. They had a couple pounds of weed and they got arrested for it. But yeah, people died for those pounds of weed before they could even get expunged to do anything to come out of there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Before anything was illegal, when things was illegal, people getting killed just to get these certain products. Now that it's legal, they shouldn't have that opportunity. No, do your time because people were getting killed during that time when things was illegal. Deal with YRC, Youth Rehabilitation Center. Youth Rehabilitation Center. They have to get rehabilitated. They are not getting rehabilitated. None of them. They're getting walked to the cell and walk away. There is no correction there. They're correcting these guys, these big men in there that smoking weed, that using cell phones and BOC to get expunged. Never. These BOC, you need a boot camp. You need to get these kids scared. They don't have no fear of these kids. Cops are being scared of these kids. I've seen live in the hood. All right, kids going in police officers' face, and these police just walking away. These police scared of these men here, and the ones that doing the other police that's not scared, it's as bad as these men in here anyways, because they're friends. Where do you think these guns coming from? From a lot of your Bureau of Corrections. A lot of these correction officers bringing them guns.
Is that
they could buy them guns. YRC the same way. All them men in there, they don't care about them boys in there. Come on, nigga, got no guy in there, a boy to kill his father, yeah. He kill his father with a machete. One toilet paper they were giving this boy, one toilet paper.
You got a question for the candidate? You got a question?
Yeah, what are you going to do with YRC? My point is, what are you going to do with YRC?
Okay,
yeah, YRC.
Thanks for your call. Okay.
Thank you very much. I tend to differ with the caller, and I don't think he really understands the Bureau and the way it worked. And I said the way it worked. I retired from there in 2003. And the YRC, Youth Rehabilitation Center, I will support him in saying that there's not sufficient programs there. But when I work to the Bureau of Correction, I can speak about the track record that I had encountering, dealing with prisoners, preparing them for going out on the street, and seeing them progress when they come back out. Got their lives back together and became positive role model in this community. I could stand here on this radio today and list out 10, 20, 15 people that I've worked with whilst they were in prison, and they are actively working in the government of the Virgin Islands and in private company. So I tend to differ with the person that called, and his opinion is his opinion. My experience is totally different. Let's take the next call, please. Yellow, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Hey, this is Luisito. How you doing, Frankie?
Hey, good morning, Mr. Luisito Garcia. Nice to hear from you.
Yeah, man, I want to wish you all the best. You're doing very well.
Thank you very much.
Good luck in this campaign, okay?
I don't need more than luck. I'm going to need your vote.
I know. And take care. You're doing a good job, okay?
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that.
Good.
Okay. Hello, good morning. How may I help?
Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. Go ahead.
Yes. I've been in YRC.
Yeah.
And Frankie used to lock my door. I used to be upset with Frankie. And I keep telling Frankie, I'm going to come to office on one of these days.
Yes, sir.
And
yep.
Besides John Bell, I'm the only man in St.Claire that been locked up in YRC and became a correction officer.
You sure did. You sure did.
And you are my favorite supervisor, even though he used to get on me. And
yes.
I made some bad choices in my life.
Right? People do.
I'm doing a lot better right now. I own my own business.
I'm proud of you.
Open another business. But my thing is, I am going to go back to YRC, and if I can help one, I help a lot.
And that's in what we're doing, right? I always say to people that if you could change the life of one person, you are successful and you have made a difference in a generation. So I applaud you for that.
But Frankie, I really appreciate you used to go on bad on me and be hard on my case. You know who this is, though, right?
Definitely. I know who you be. Your voice.
Thanks a lot, Frankie.
You're welcome.
All right.
Yellow, good morning. Yellow, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning. How are you doing this morning?
I'm fine.
Okay.
Frankie, I don't know you, but the first time I heard you on the program with a passion, and I just know I want to vote for you.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that.
I'm telling people now to vote for you, and I didn't know you.
Thank you.
But if I tell you who I am, you would know where you're coming from.
Okay.
But I saw your picture down the road there. Coming up Mumby Juice. So I said, but you from Frederickstead?
Yes, I'm from Frederickstead.
I'm Lady Band's wife who did.
Oh, yes, I know you.
You know me, but me can't remember the face, but I done started to campaign for you already.
Thank you very much.
And
I know you, though.
And you're going to win.
Thank you.
You have a passion, and I like the passion that you have, you know?
Thank
and
you
I believe you're going to, you will get in there. I'll pray for you.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank
I
you.
have been to the prison witnessing for the Lord. I've been to YRC for many years.
Yes.
But, so I'm praying. I'll pray for you, and you're going to win, man. Don't worry. God is good, okay?
Thank you very much. God bless.
Dearie.
Have a wonderful day.
Bye-bye.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, sir. How are you?
Fine, thanks.
Yeah, my question, I've been listening to the radio, right, and I hear a lot of people calling and talking about these civilian cameras.
Yeah.
And definitely, right, I think the camera is our way out. We can find out who done it, and it will slow down the crime.
It definitely
because
will.
In the States, in Atlanta especially, nobody come up and tell police nothing.
Yeah.
They pick it up on the cameras and they bring it over on all the TVs and all the stations.
No question
and
about
that's how they find criminals, okay?
Yes.
And that's what St. Claire need right now, the cameras on the street.
The entire
And if you get in there as a senator, you should push with the cameras. That's a good way to start. And that's all I have to say to you, my brother. Thank you and goodbye.
Definitely will. You have no doubt about that. That's something I definitely will push for. Yellow, good morning. Yellow, good morning. Good morning.
Could you hear?
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead.
I can't hear you.
I could hear you very loud and clear. Go ahead.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You see all these EDC corporations that are these tax exemptions?
Definitely.
Like see, top equities, you name them.
Definitely.
Get a list of the EDC and see. They're supposed to pay to install, maintain, construct, and replace, and have these cameras set up in appropriate places in the version, not wrongly stored in a shop. And the streets, the communities, all of them, all these millions of dollars they gain exemption, let them be by law when they get in these 100% gross receipts, income tax, property tax, custom duty, all those tax exemptions can cut in there, and they make their contribution to installing and maintaining and construction of these cameras in the Virgin Islands. Not around no corner where their business is. The whole street and the community.
You have no argument with me with that. 100% back at that, and those are things that I had in mind to do once the opportunity comes.
Besides that, I don't know why some people keep advertising that they get a shot, start walking. That is not no public announcement. It's so foolish because if I doing fine shots, I go some places to fire shot because I know that you're going to come in that direction. You could still hear me.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have enough, do you remember when all the police cars in the version had numbers on them, starting with 3, 2, or 1, and the highway cars have a 4?
Yes.
Definitely. That is how you know the police them doing the work.
Yeah.
But they don't want to take no advertisement and also just something nobody. If you come from Texas, Orlando, St. Kitts, Antigua, Trinidad, or New York, crime still ain't in those places?
Definitely.
So stop fooling people. Stop advertising when you got things working, because one thing working, you don't tell nobody. One time to come back forward, you can't know. You telling me you advertising that you put in a vehicle in a particular location, you don't tell me you're watching me already. And then you get these things you could
gold, you got drones, you got all kind of things. Why these big corporations who got all these employees working for them, live in these neighborhoods with their children and the families, can't be safe, will take it, have drones flying around to see what is happening when people getting robbed and last time and robbing the home. That's what you need to do.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate
it. Let them install these things and stop advertising everything the police and being to say the president. Police here, president, you don't say can't around the place. Put numbers on them and you see what they're doing the work. Put numbers on them. Who take off the numbers of the car? When you trying to stop a police car, he tell you we're waiting for a traffic cop. No police don't get a traffic check. They get training in everything. There's a joke they're making around here.
Thank you very much, bro. Thank you very much. Hello, good morning. Hello,
well, it seems like we just about run out of time, Frankie. Look how quickly time flies, huh?
Sure do fly.
Okay.
And I'll wrap up on this. That I really appreciate all the callers, all the supporters that have been getting thus far. It's a lot of work. It's a long race. It's a long battle. And I said to the people, I am here for this territory. I'm here for St. Croix. I'm here for the Virgin Islands. And I'm asking for all who are interested in getting on board. I give my number and I'll give it out again. 340-474-4131. Like us on Facebook or on the website, franklinjohnson.vi. And I definitely know that because of COVID, our communication, our coming together is going to be a different entire political season. But I'll be here. I'll be on the radio. This is not my first. It won't be my last. And I'll be on other stations and I'm reaching out to the people and asking for their support in November to vote for me, Franklin Johnson, a man of action, a man who really dedicates his life to this territory and will continue irregardless of the outcome of the election. God bless the Virgin Islands. God bless everyone in this territory.
Okay, and you have been listening to candidate Franklin Johnson. And the program preceded with his program. This is a paid-for program. It's been a paid broadcast. And so right now, we return back to VI in the morning, and we will close out with his commercial. How about that, Frankie?
Every 2 years, political candidates wanting your vote talk about serving our children and youths. But after the election is over, where have they been? Year after year, decade after decade. I have a proven track record of being a man of action, actively supporting our children and youths. I have sponsored Little League teams and continually volunteered to support youth athletic programs and activities, assisted with church annual summer program, established the crime prevention school prison program while at the Bureau of Corrections, sponsored and donated to the annual children parade, sponsored various children basketball program, and facilitate and coordinate the transportation of children from St. Croix to St. Thomas to participate in the Milton Newt summer program for the first time, just to name a few. With my passion for serving, helping and seeing our young people succeed, I provided the opportunity for the youth in the Police Athletic League band to publicly showcase their talent at their first professional performance. And when PAL, led by Mr. Rookie Jackson, needed support to reactivate their youth program on St. Croix, I took action, intervened, and we got it done. I, Franklin D. Johnson, have been serving our community for over 40 years. I am humbly asking you for your support and vote to take action and serve you as your senator from the District of St. Croix in the 34th Legislature of the Virgin Islands. God bless you, your families, and these beautiful Virgin Islands.